Welcome to Renee and Tune. I am Zin Uru Renee, and this message is for my Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. I'm gonna shuffle a bit, and then we're gonna hop right into your message. Let's do it. I'm excited. All right. These messages are timeless, so they are for you when you find them. Of course, they are collective readings as well, collective Leo readings. So eat the meat and shut the bones. Alrighty, and if you still happen to like this video, go ahead and like the video, share it, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. We're going to get about 3 more shuffles and hop right in. Definitely stick around for more messages for your zodiac sign, messages for the moon activity, new and full moons, and also pick a cards. And then if you decide you want to contact me or follow my social medias. You can find all of that information in the description box down below. You can also find ways to purchase a reading and to donate, my darlings. All right, so there's like so much. The Page of Swords is here at the bottom of the deck, so there's so much that it is not being expressed at this time. I feel like this is from you and to you, if that makes sense. A lot of things that want to be said. There's a lot of realizations and clarity that you've recently come into. Things that have just been looking looking differently than what you're used to. I feel like you're coming into there's 2 things here. You're moving away from many conflicting situations, the situations that have just bring a lot of conflict to your life. You're also moving away from spaces that keep you in the energy of self-doubt, of doubting yourself. I feel like some of these situations or circumstances are so deep rooted that there's so much that you just kind of keep to yourself, and there's so much that you've doubted moving forward. You know what I mean? Just in your decision making, just not wanting to be in the energy of conflict, but also in your capabilities and as much as you're able to do. But there's so much expression that is waiting to come out of you from those circumstances, right? And so there's a lot of movement that's happening right now for you, a lot of mental movement, a lot of you changing your mind. Some of you are moving locations, you're moving to new places, you're catching a new scenery, you're relocating because of the changes that you've made in your mind. You've really like started to look at certain things very, very clarifying. You know what I mean? A clarifying manner, I should say. But again, there's still so much. There's like there's places where you feel conflict, where people are not expressing themselves to you, and then there's also places where you feel doubtful and like you cannot express yourself freely. And so that's the thing that you're really finding. Those are the things you're really finding clarity on in the recent past, and just moving forward, like changing your mind about. And for some of you, that's a physical change. That's a physical, relocation. For some of you, it's just a mindset change. It's just doing things differently, seeing things differently. I got notifications popping up on here. And this requires you to really speak life into yourself. Okay, this requires the changes you've got going on in your mind. Now you got to get your body to really like be on board, right? But your body is used to what it knows. So it has this way of protecting itself, especially from change or things that are uncomfortable or uncertain or unknown. And it goes back to what it knows. But what it knows was very, filled with conflict. And you have, realized that. You know what I mean? And so the body is now needing to experience a repetition of something new in order for it to be able to really change with you. So your mind has changed about a lot. Now you're getting your body on board. You're getting your physical environment on board. Some of you are going ahead and you're gonna have to speak like strength and courage into yourself to make that step, to take that step and just go. Like that's meant for you. You know that, you feel it. You know what I mean? Again, that Page of Swords, you're filled with things you want to express, filled with things you want to do, filled with things you want to say, and it's like getting to a point where it's time to say it. It's all been in your head, and now it's time to rest your mind and really just release it. You know what I mean? So many of you are, building up the courage to move to a new location if you have not done so already. And many of you are just building up the courage to really like have confidence within yourself. Have confidence within yourself, within your decisions, and have confidence in speaking your mind and also what you want in terms of your connections and relationships moving forward. So there's a lot of movement happening, a lot of mental movement, a lot of physical movement, and there's a need for you to speak life into the things that you are creating now. There's a need for you to speak positivity into the things that you know that you have clarity on now that you want moving forward, for yourself and for your connections with others. There's a need for you to really be clear in your thoughts and your language about, what this change looks like for you, so that your body and your physical environment can catch up. You know what I mean? Because you set the tone. You set the tone to everything that happens around you. Okay. I feel like you are attracting so much reciprocation and a fresh new start, a fresh new beginning. Okay, reciprocation of the energy you've given to others. You're stepping into spaces where you will be, given that energy back, from others. You're stepping into spaces where you can express yourself more, right? This is a new chapter for you. There's a lot of clarity coming into this chapter, and also a lot of just respect. Respect of your space and boundaries, and respect of other people's spaces and boundaries, and just kind of like common understandings. But there's a need for you to ground yourself. The Four of Pentacles is here. There's a need for you to remain grounded during these changes, because the repetition of your convictions, okay, of everything that you're becoming clear upon, is important for you to make these changes become habit, become behavior pattern, and then become the result of everything that you're looking at in your life. Does that make sense? Leo, the Four of Pentacles is here, and for me, this card always talks about just remaining grounded, grounding yourself, whether that's putting your toes in the dirt, in the grass, hugging a tree, spending time in nature, or finding ways, breath work, music, writing, journaling, expressing yourself, getting your emotions out, poetry, whatever it is that you do, whatever your outlet is, just finding ways to ground so that you can remain in focus, and in respect of your own boundaries and honor of your own boundaries. Does that make sense? Because those around you will honor your boundaries when you honor your boundaries first, or they'll kind of dwindle out of your existence, if that makes sense, right? So the Four of Pentacles is here to remind you, okay? Don't hold so tightly to yourself that you don't make any movements, okay? But also be grounded as you walk through this journey, right? Be grounded as you walk through this journey, so that you are letting go, so that you are ending and finishing that chapter, letting go of those things so that you can step fully into this next chapter, because there's so much there for you that wasn't there before, but there's a need to move some things out of the way. You know what I mean? To release some things, to clear up some clutter, to make some space to receive these things, okay? From things that don't match that energy, things that aren't, I won't say don't match that energy, but just things that no longer, that you've outgrown. Does that make sense? Because sometimes we get too deeply into that match energy stuff, and that's no. You want to match the energy of the things that you desire. Forget everything else. And that's really important for you to remember right now. You want to match the energy of the things you desire. Forget everything else. You don't need to go trying to match everything else. That just, it will work itself out energetically. It will work itself out. The World card is here. So there's the end of, you come full circle. You've reached the end of a cycle, and you're getting ready to step into a new journey. We saw that Fool card come out. Okay. And there's a need for you to remain grounded. There's a need for you to speak and think in conjunction with the things that you are attracting, whether it's location where you're moving to, or relationships and connections, and the things that you're expecting in those connections, or the things that you're I won't say expecting, but just that you want to receive, and the reciprocation that you would like, the things that you're willing to give, and moving away from conflict and moving away from doubt, just breaking out of that fear. You've come into so much clarity, so now it's time to just step into it, step into the clarity that you've come into. Yeah, I feel some hesitation with you. There's a real need for you to meditate. There's a real need for you to ground, because I feel some hesitation for you. It's like you're skeptical about things moving forward, skeptical about connections, even skeptical about moves. There's a lot of doubt. is what I feel more than anything, in connection with those things. And it's because you just don't really actually see the light. You know what you want. You saw the clarity. You felt that. 1010 just popped out at me. So look up the number 1010 because that could be very significant for you. But it's like, because you're not seeing the light, you know that you're at the end of this chapter. You can feel the new chapter coming in. But you kind of feel protective of yourself, and so there's some skepticism there. But there's a need for you to meditate, ground, so that you're not overprotecting yourself and keeping yourself from stepping into this new chapter. So that you're grounded, and so that you can step into it with the clarity that you have now created. There's also, I'm feeling also repetition, like speaking to yourself, about the things that you're creating in repetition, so that you can step into those behavior patterns, step into that move, step into those connections, step into, the next phase of those experiences in your life, without it being like an overprotecting, keeping yourself from you gotta fight for yourself, baby. Seven of Wands is here. Keep going, keep fighting, keep moving, keep pressing forward, keep standing up for yourself, keep speaking up for yourself, because right now it's like you deserve this. You deserve this. You've been through a lot. You fought and got yourself this far. To keep going. Keep going, because what if it does all work out, and what if you can have everything that you've worked for, and why give up now? You're so close. Yeah. Some of you are healing from loss of finances, loss of people, abandonment, lack, you know, maybe struggling with, some of you could be struggling with just homelessness, or, bouncing around an uncomfortable living situation. Right now is the time to sit with yourself more than anything and deal with those thoughts, those losses, and that lack, because those things, if you allow them to dictate your movements, they're going to keep looping into your life. You've got to trust yourself. You've got to trust yourself moving forward. You've got to trust yourself. You've got to express. You've got to let it out. Find the outlets to rest your mind, and to be open to receiving the reciprocation that is trying to come in for you. And there's clarity there. There's respect. There's boundaries. There's commitment there. There's so much protection. There's so much growth. There's so much light. But it's in choosing yourself first. It is. And then it's like you just get poured upon by, a community, by love, by family, by, and then you get the home too. The home is coming, okay? Sneak preview. Sneak preview. The home is coming too, okay? Lots of, abundance ahead of you. But this thing right here is something that you've got to deal with. Yep, a lot of healing. Right now is the time to focus on this healing and lighten the energy and the mood for yourself, okay? Because I also just saw 1313. That this is going to bring you satisfaction of where you are and yourself and what you're attracting. You knowing the wish fulfillment is coming in, knowing it's there. Okay, but that's when you lighten the mood for yourself and you heal those mindsets surrounding these particular circumstances, and then you will feel good about where you are right now, because you'll know that everything you desire is coming in, and you'll also be more comfortable putting yourself out there and expressing yourself in your business, in your creativity, but also just doing. That card came out so freaking fast. It's for you. It's yours. We're gonna read it, and then look. You're opening yourself up to connection, to movement, to just so much by just focusing on healing that and redirecting your mindset around those things, those two things right there, that we talked about. There's inspiration for you moving forward, so seek inspiration, and also just focus on the things you've learned that bring you wisdom from these experiences, as opposed to the things that you have been through. That it gave you knowledge, but it also gave you a lot to experience. You know what I mean? So focus on the things that you can take from those things, the positive things moving forward, so that you can release the things that no longer serve you. The conviction card is what came out for you in the instant. I'm gonna read it because Spirit is like, speak with conviction, claim with conviction, move forward with conviction. The only thing holding you is the doubt, is that you doubt sometimes. Your skepticism sometimes, doubting yourself sometimes, not trusting your own decision making. doubting that things can actually work out, can actually pan out for you. Higher and higher, he flies into the bright sunrise, carrying his burden. Though it is a burden, it is not heavy because he has the conviction to know he will succeed in all his endeavors. This fire dragon will walk with you, helping to burn out the lower energies of self doubt. You know what we just said? I love what I do. I love how the spirit talks. This fire dragon will walk with you, helping to burn out the lower energies of self doubt, fear, and confusion about what you are meant to do in this life and all other lives. Let go, hold your head high, and carry your burden. Walk with belief in yourself and your abilities, for a dragon walks behind you. You can do this completely. I love this. You're being encouraged to move with conviction despite what your circumstances are right now, because you are changing them as you go, but you've got to step into it with conviction and no doubt and no fear and trusting yourself. I love you so much, Leo. Everything you need is in the description box below. Subscribe, like, comment. Mwah, 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 mwah.